everyone. Welcome to the Cagesiders. Jeremy Long, along with my co-host, the coach, Angelo Reyes. You're all decked out and ready to
That's
gear.
right, baby. We got a team. The Las Vegas Raiders. Now we got the Golden Knights. We got the Raiders. We're probably going to get the Las Vegas Clippers pretty soon.
The Clippers.
Baby,
Are you talking basketball,
Yeah,
baseball?
I think what I like about us having an NFL team is that our whole town is now becoming like a super town. You know, we got football, we got hockey, we get basketball, we get a pro baseball team. We already have all the best fights coming this way, so why not, right?
Well, you got to think of it. Just a couple months ago, we had nothing.
Yes.
We had no pro sports teams. With the T-Mobile Arena just got opened at the beginning of 2016. All of a sudden, we got everything. We got an NHL. We got an NFL. We got all the the UFC is a pillar sponsor of.
It's
T-Mobile.
the new home of the T-Mobile Arena.
UFC is going to be there.
Right.
This is a great time to be in Vegas, baby.
It's a great time to be a Raider fan. See, look, in honor of the Raiders coming, I brought my Ken Stabler hat from the very first Filipino heritage. They did a Filipino-American heritage game way back in Oakland. So
Ken Stabler.
Las Vegas Raiders, baby.
Yeah, let me see that hat there.
Right? No mess with my Stabler hat, man.
That's a great hat. That's a great hat to have. We're going to have this here. We're just going to toss it that way because I got my Cowboys, baby. No matter what, the Dallas Cowboys still rule it all, right? So let's move right into some MMA because I know the coach wants to punch me right now.
I do. But not as badly probably as Chris Cyborg, who just vacated the title.
She vacated the title. And who's the new champ? Megan Anderson.
Yeah, Megan Anderson, undisputed now. So now we're going to see a whole bunch of things happen with whatever Shannon Knapp has planned for Invicta. Invicta always puts on the best female fights out there. So we'll see what goes on. And speaking of which, we just saw, who was it, Tanya Evinger.
Tanya Evinger goes in there. She had a back and forth, for a while. There was a little bit of a toss-up at the 135 division. Who is she? Where does she belong? Because she isn't a lot of people say she's not the marketable because she's not this.
She's winning.
She's not this pretty Paige Van Zandt kind of fighter, right?
Okay.
But she goes in there.
She wins.
Knees the crap out of people.
That's right.
And she wins, right? So what does the UFC need to do? Or why? I guess the most important question is, why isn't she right now with the UFC?
I think it's with Tanya. I don't know. There's a lot of reasons why you're going to be into UFC and you're not going to be into UFC. Obviously, they have a good amount of the very best 135ers out there right now.
Right.
Could possibly be just a business deal. Maybe Tanya's saying, I don't want to go into UFC yet because you're not paying me enough. So I don't know. I know that she definitely has to defend this title for Invicta. And one of the fighters that I think she'd have a great fight with is somebody who's been on our show, Raquel Paolui, who trains over here right out of
Raquel.
Yeah, love Raquel. Trains out of Robert Drysdale's gym.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you remember Robert telling us she will be the champ in 2017.
With his undivided attention.
Yep.
She is going. There's no one that can beat her on the mat.
That's what he said.
And I believe it.
Yeah. I mean, how crazy
Robert
would it be?
Drysdale backing it up like that?
Yeah. How crazy would it be if Raquel went ahead and submission choked or got a submission on Tanya Evinger? That'd be crazy, right?
That would be really great.
Yeah. Then one of them would end up in the UFC.
Not great for Tanya, but obviously great for the sport because you see this competition, this level of competition starting to shake out between the women's divisions of UFC, Invicta, things like that. So I'm with you.
Yeah. No. And again, another Vegas winner. I'm always rooting for Vegas. So
yeah, always rooting for Vegas. So there you have it. Let's talk a little bit about boxing. David Lemieux.
Well,
he just won.
Can I just say this before we do that? Because I want to say
how. Of course, Coach. Please.
I just want to say how lucky it is to be on the Cagesider show. Because if you show up and you're a guest here, you win your matches. Who did we have on?
Yes.
Who did we have on our Cagesider TV show that just won?
Danny Davis Jr. won his matchup, and I have no doubt that Dave Mazzani, who fights on April 8th, he's going to win his matchup.
If you show up on the show, if you come in studio, you win. That's how it works, people. If you come on our podcast or you come in studio, you win matches, right?
That's
Just
exactly
ask Jose Shorty Torres.
That's
right?
exactly right. Jose comes on our show. Couple of days later, he knocks out his challenger with knees and flying elbows and all kinds of crazy stuff. So come on the Cagesiders.
Come on the Cagesiders.
Instant good luck.
Instant good luck.
So speaking of instant good luck, David Lemieux, who won on March 11th, knocked out Curtis Stevens for the world to see. One of the knockout of the
definitely knockout of the year
candidates.
Yes,
he's back on the undercard of which fight?
Canelo Chavez. It's an amazing.
That is worth the money right there.
Oh man, if you're not buying this pay-per-view, you're crazy, right? Because now you put Lemieux in there. They're gonna have it's already sold out anyway, so it's sold out. The only way to really watch it is on pay-per-view. But now this is what we talked about in our previous shows. David Lemieux will most likely be fighting the winner of Canelo Chavez.
Right.
Which we will talk about probably next week.
Probably we're going to talk about that. Absolutely.
But speaking of boxing, from this weekend, and people who are winning when we mention them or we talk about them.
Please tell us.
Jorge Linares, right? Did I not say? Yeah, and that was supposed to be a very close fight, but you saw 118-109. Jorge Linares scores a knockdown, pretty much just dominates Crolla. Congratulations to Coach Ismael Salas and the rest of the gang here in Vegas. Jorge Linares, always welcome on the show. You had a fantastic performance. And I hear right now the fight that's about to maybe get made, or they're talking about it, is Mikey Garcia versus Jorge Linares. Now, Jeremy, I'm excited about a fight like that. And I know we should be having one or both of these guys on our podcast pretty soon. But
all of them,
all of them,
same time.
But what do you think about Linares, Mikey Garcia?
Man, that is a good fight right there. If you're a true boxing fan, that is a fight right there. Mikey Garcia, number one, alone, no matter who he fights, tough champion, hits hard, got a lot of gumption, right there. That's a fight. No matter who he faces. But you line these two guys up, you might as well start saying Lomachenko. You might as well start saying it. He gets paid a nickel every time he says Lomachenko. So,
Lomachenko,
who sparred with T.J. Dillashaw.
Yeah, we'll talk
and
about
a video that's making the rounds and everything else.
Yeah, no.
So, I'm all about it. Anything Mikey Garcia, that's a fight to watch.
And again, going with the theme, guys, of if you're on a Cagesider show, you win. Anna Julaton, you interviewed her last show.
Anna Julaton
comes back from Mexico.
I was very
wins her
proud
fight.
of that. I was very proud of that. We talked. We got into nitty gritty. She told me what she believed in, why she keeps going and everything, and then she goes in there. She gets a UD right there. At first, it was she got a draw.
Well, they messed it up.
They messed it up. The Mexican Commission messed something up. What? Sacrilege.
Yeah, it was,
I don't believe it.
It was a Steve Harvey moment for the announcer.
Steve Harvey moment.
Well, you'll have her on studio to talk
Venezuela,
about it.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely right. Congratulations to Anna Julaton, who we absolutely love.
You'll have her in studio, and you'll get
Danny Davis. Yeah, we're gonna talk to Anna and all of our friends. So when we come back, we're gonna take our first commercial break. When we come back, we're gonna talk a little more, right? Yeah, that's damn right. We're gonna have more when we come back from the break. Cagesiders. Ow. Hi everyone, welcome back to the Cagesiders. Jeremy Long, along with the coach, Angelo Reyes. There we go.
Thank you
Angelo
for remembering
Reyes.
my name,
I'm sorry.
Jeremy.
I forgot. I was thinking about the Raiders, and I instantly got choked up.
Okay, I can go with the coach
vomit.
Angelo Raiders. Okay.
Going to vomit because you will be without a championship for many years.
Well,
So,
but speaking of championships,
we're here with Rona Hightower from Tuff-N-Uff, right?
Yep.
Absolutely right. So,
that champion organization. They've been around for 24 years.
You could almost call it the UFC of amateur fighting.
It's true. It's been around the longest.
I would definitely say that because so many fighters have come up through this organization.
When you think
we're
about
so
it,
lucky to have it here in Las Vegas.
What did we talk about in the first segment? Tanya Evinger came out of Tuff-N-Uff, right? And then there's Ashley Evans Smith, John Fitch, Jesse Forbes.
Do I really need to pull the Ronda Rousey
Chris
card?
Holdsworth. I know you're going to say Ronda. Everybody knows Ronda Rousey.
Came through this,
Of
man.
course.
Come on.
Of course.
So if you're lucky enough to be a part of one of their shows, watch one of their shows, you're in for a treat. They have a show coming up April 7th. Thank you so much for joining us.
Of course, thanks for having me.
So we were going to actually ask you that about the history of Tuff-N-Uff, and we know you've been in the company for a few years now. What about the history? I mean, when you tell our fans, why should they come and watch a Tuff-N-Uff? Why should they do it?
Oh, well, it's kind of like you mentioned, we're the future stars of MMA, so we're basically, we are kind of like the UFC, but the rounds are shorter, which kind of means for more knockouts, more exciting, fast-paced action. They have less time to actually make something happen. So we kind of tout that as like one of our, feather in our caps, because, we kind of have the same thing that they do, but also our prices are way cheaper. And you can be right by the cage. You can get blood on you for a lot less than what they're charging.
All right. Now, of the names that I mentioned when I was naming all these people, and Ronda Rousey, of course, right? Who is your, Rona? Who would be like your personal favorites of alumni that came out of Tuff-N-Uff?
Well, since I've only been with the company for a short while, I'm not really, I never met Ronda. I wasn't around when she was fighting, so I'm more of like Jamie Moyle. She's one of my favorites.
She's awesome.
Yeah,
she's
she's fights
awesome.
with Invicta now, so I love her. She's a local girl, so I've always liked working with Jamie.
All right, that's cool. That April 7th show, it's the downtown Las Vegas Event Center, right?
So.
But I know you guys have done stuff like Pack the Mac, right? Is that happening again this year?
We are. We're doing Pack the Mac again, June 17th. I know it's EDC weekend, so for everyone not going to EDC,
That'd be
please
me
come.
and you. Me and you. We're not going to EDC weekend.
Thomas and Mack Center, it's entirely free show again. This is our 4th year doing it. We did break the attendance record the first year, so we're still trying to break our own record again this year.
How many people showed up on that first year?
It was over 15,000 people. Wow. Yeah, which is more than some UFC shows have even had. So we're kind of like, oh, we have more people than you.
In fact, when I moved here a couple years ago, that was my very first MMA show here in Vegas, was Tuff-N-Uff at the Thomas and Mack. And I tell you this much, it was an incredible, incredible show. That was the show that made me go, I want to do MMA here in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's incredible show.
We have tons of shows throughout the year, but fighters and coaches are like, no, we want to be on June 7th. We want to be on Thomas and Mack, because they know it's huge exposure for them and for their fighters and for their careers. So that one is always a really popular one. And we're super fortunate to work with the Thomas and Mack Center. They partner with us. So, I mean, I don't know where else you'd be able to do that in the world, where something like the Thomas Mack Center, it fits 18,000 people, will work with an amateur
open
MMA
to amateur fighters.
They're like,
and things like that.
come on,
absolutely.
let's put on a show. So yeah, we're really fortunate to get to work with them.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So like you said, like a Pack the Mac, those type of ideas. Is there anything new that you guys are coming up with for 2017? Any new wrinkles, changing the rules, or anything fun for the fans or for the fighters? Anything that you can divulge?
We've kind of always thought about changing the length of the rounds, but then we're like, they're amateurs. They're gonna gas. Like, I don't know if they can make it.
They're gonna gas,
so
man.
We're like, yeah, maybe we should keep it at the 2 minutes. But we are working with the Downtown Las Vegas Event Center for the first time this year with our own shows. We did work with them last year for a charity show. So we're really excited about that. The April 7th one is outside, so that'll be really cool. The weather will be nice and enjoy some beers and fights and Fremont Street, and it's like a really exciting venue for us to work with.
Now let me ask you that, because I know in the downtown area they do like Life is Beautiful, and I know a company like yours is always looking for great sponsors.
Yeah.
Is there like a fun component like that, where you get beer companies and all these different companies kind of doing like a parade, or like something where this sponsor and that sponsor, there's giveaways or anything?
Every show we have, the sponsors can get a booth, they can throw out swag, from the cage, things like that. So every event we try to incorporate the sponsors as much as possible, and all the advertising. We play their commercial in the venue. We're willing to work with anyone, and we'll come up with all kinds of creative ideas to promote sponsors and their product and their company.
Well, it's definitely a great. I mean, Dana White was on their last show. Now, when you have Dana White coming to an amateur show, that's the show to go to.
Especially when he said so many years ago, I don't like amateur. I don't like girls fighting.
Told you, we talked about that
all
not
that
too long
stuff.
ago.
So
Yeah.
for him to come really kind of put a check mark and like kind of really validated us as a company, that was amazing.
That's
Absolutely.
awesome. That is awesome. Now, look at this rundown for this April 7th show. Your main event is, I think it's Billy Brand versus Ian
It
King.
is. It's a title fight. Yep.
Title fight. All right,
yeah.
all right. And Danny Gonzalez versus Extreme Couture's Corey
Conway, yeah.
Yep. That'll be a good one. Yeah, Corey's fought for us quite a few times, so yeah, he's always a fun one to watch.
Yeah, and there's a whole list here. So I was going to ask you, out of the fighters that we're looking at, or the ones that you have in your roster right now, which are the ones that we should be paying attention to that might be making that transition to the pros? Anybody you can think of?
The two main events for sure. They both got really great records, and they come from like really great camps. So that one's always, those are two to watch. Calvin Parrington, he's on the card. He's fought for us quite a few times. He's definitely one to watch too. There's a lot of people that we've got. We've got really great gyms that we work with in town and out of town. So you just got to come to the show.
Come to the show.
See the
Come to the
future
show.
stars for yourself.
There you go, April 7th, downtown, Las Vegas Event Center. You're not going to want to miss this because if you like big production as far as MMA is concerned, this is the organization locally to get involved with. A lot of the, like they say, future stars of MMA are going to be right here. We mentioned all the names earlier. So the folks you see on these cards are the ones you're probably going to see in pro fights. You're going to see them knock heads in Bellator, in UFC, all these places. So, Rona, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for coming
Absolutely.
down,
For coming down and everything. When we come back, we're going to have more, right, Angelo?
Yes, sir.
Right. This Raiders cap is gone. Right, we're going to have more from the Cagesiders. Stay tuned. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Cagesiders. Jeremy Long along with the coach, Angelo Reyes. You may notice belts from all over the world. Bling, baby. And our beautiful guest right here on a Julaton. Thank you guys so much for bringing belts to my life.
Mike helped us out. Bring it in.
Mike did.
Yeah.
Mike, you helped us out doing his thing. Roy was beating the drum. Off stage, he was making it lively. We have a lot of fun between breaks here. So let's talk a little bit about your main event in Mexico.
This past weekend.
Yeah, this past weekend. Old girl beat other old girl like she owed her money, and I absolutely loved it. What a great main event. Congratulations, number one on the win.
Thank you. It's good to be back, actually. So I'm just glad it's all over. The training camp was really hard, and captured the win, and here we are. We're back in Vegas, getting ready for the next thing.
So what did you think, Coach? How did she put it all together in your eyes?
For me, as a coach, of course, I'm going to be the hardest critic out of everyone.
Right.
But in all honesty, guys, I think her promoter said it best. The old Anna Hulton that everybody's been wanting to see is back. Her jabs were on point. You saw her timing, her distance.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I don't know what's next. I really don't know. But I do know that based on that performance, she fought someone who's the WBO world title contender last year, and it looked pretty good to me, man. I actually scored it 7 rounds to 1, but I'm biased, so I know that everybody had it scored 6-2.
Anna, how did you feel about your performance in the fight?
I mean, overall, I felt like I was able to do a lot of things that I wanted to do, and
Right.
as a fighter, I think that's important. And at the end of it all, I didn't really get hurt. My opponent really didn't get hurt. We really got to just play a very tactical chess-like game, and for me, that's something that I really do enjoy, is just being able to just count the moments. And we went out there, captured the W, and I'm just glad it's just all over. There's a lot of weight has been shifted off my shoulders, and it's nice to just kind of just relax, just kind of just get out into a different character and just kind of be me a little bit more instead of just being just I'm getting ready to get back into the cage and fight someone. But it's just nice to have this type of balance.
Right, because last time we talked to her, last episode, it was right before you jumped right into the ring. So, you were like, hey, it's the kind of the deep breath before the plunge, and now you go through it, you come back on the other side, you come out with a victory. So, obviously, a lot of your fans, they lit up our Facebook page, they lit up our Twitter, go Anna, go do your thing. Is it too early to say what's next? What's next for you,
Um,
Coach? Coach Fighter, what's next?
And right now, I just really just want to enjoy this moment. You know, there's
Right.
a lot of work on my end, a lot of work from my team's end, and a lot of people who were very supportive and very positive throughout the whole experience. And you know, it's not something that I want to take for granted. Going to the ring, going to the cage, whatever you do, it's very easy to just overlook it. Win, lose, or draw. It's all about just being happy at what you're doing,
Right.
and just being able to live your dreams. So right now, it's all about, you know, just kind of sitting back, catching up on sleep, and you know, spending time with family and friends.
Now, obviously, a lot of fans overseas. A lot of fans were wishing you best of luck and everything else. If you had something to say to your fans overseas, what would you tell them right now?
I would say thank you for all the support. It really does go a long way, because as a fighter and just balancing everything into just the training camp alone, I mean, you have to be willing to take punches, you know,
Right.
day in and day out, and you have to take it like a grain of salt. It's like it's nothing. It's something that you just do, and to live through that and then go into the outside world where everyone's just kind of, hey, you know, they can not get hit. So
Right.
just dealing with that type of psychology, and then sometimes you could almost feel alone because you're just going in there taking all that punishment, and just to hear a nice positive thought from just anyone, you know, it really does go a long way, because right at that moment you could be happy, you could be sad, you could be just downright, you just want to just stop.
Right.
But
Right.
to help keep me going, you know, it's really just everyone just taking a time out to just say something nice. So yeah, I just want to say thank you to everyone.
Now, very quickly, you guys been going back and forth, boxing, MMA, things like that. Is this the year we see Rona Hightower and Bellator, UFC, something like that? Come on, give us a scoop.
You know, I just want to just just enjoy this moment. But you know, what I will say is that at the end of the day, I have all these different skill sets. So just because I'm in the gym boxing and I'm sparring and I'm just throwing my hands doesn't mean I'm not throwing kicks and I'm not
Right.
practicing on these other things. You know, I like to keep my options open, and I feel like that's more of my style. And because of that type of training, I think that brings a little bit of a uniqueness to my style when I step into the ring, or even if I step into the cage. It's just me being me, not restricted into just one art.
There
So
you go.
we'll see.
I couldn't have said it better, right, Coach?
Yeah, no,
Right,
it's pretty
good.
awesome, man. I know that Lomachenko is sparring TJ Dillashaw,
He just
right?
got another nickel.
I
There
want
you
to
go.
get my nickel in there, but how many people could actually spar you like TJ Dillashaw, or spar you like Lomachenko? There's only
Rona
one.
Hightower. She's the only one that could do it. Look at all these belts she's collected over a career. Congratulations on the W, getting back in the win column. Congratulations to you also, Coach.
Thank you.
Your whole team and everything. When we come back, we're going to have a little bit more, right?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely right. And she's wearing a Raiders gear. They both are. Trainers. I love it. Stay with us, Cagesiders. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Cagesiders. Jeremy Long, along with the coach Angelo Reyes. For all of our guests on Hulaton,
Rona Hightower.
Rona Hightower from Tuff-N-Uff. So get out, enjoy some local fights this weekend. We want to thank each and every single one of you for joining us on the show here on the Action Channel, and for subscribing to us online. Podcast, iTunes, Cagesiders, right here. We'll see you next week. We're going to have fun. Cagesiders.